Finally, some combat. Okay, mission 11, Strafe. We are now going to move on to some missions that will test you on your use of the Mustang's weapons. We'll start with 50 caliber machine guns, 2 Strafe, 2 groups of static trucks. You can use the gates to guide you to the targets. Destroy the north and south groups. Okay, so I've done a lot of this. Excuse me. As you can see here, we have 6 50 caliber machine guns, 3 in each wing. The innermost guns have more ammunition than the outermost. But if the outer 4 stop firing, it means you don't have much ammo left and you need to start working on a solution. So how the guns work is they don't shoot in a straight line. No, I guess we can take this opportunity to talk about weapon convergence and stuff like that.
Now we move on to some missions, testing the use of the Mustang weapons. We'll start with 50 caliber machine guns, straight 2 groups of static trucks. We use the gates to guide you to the target groups.
Okay, so I'm going to switch my gun sight to the fixed reticle. And you notice that that doesn't move as I turn. If you look at this one, it moves around relative to my bore sight. This is just gun bore sight, sort of, and it's a fixed reticle, and you can use it in different ways. But you can notice it has some markings down below the cross in the middle of the pipper, and that kind of, at certain ranges, the bullets will drop as they travel outward from the aircraft. Let's take this opportunity to talk about some ballistics, and hopefully some of you have fired an actual rifle or pistol in real life, because that is pretty damn educational for this kind of stuff. Basically, bullets, unlike most first-person shooter games, bullets do not travel a straight line. Here's my targets. I'm just going to strafe this, and we'll talk about ballistics here in a second. It's been a while. Got one of them. Let's go in here. See, the closer you are, the more it... Okay, so as bullets travel away from the aircraft, like I said, they... Alright, back to the rifle example. When you shoot a rifle, imagine you're holding a rifle up to your shoulder, and you're looking down the sight line. Really? They already blew up? That must have been a secondary explosion. I didn't hit him that hard. When you're looking down the sight line of a rifle, you look through a rear sight and a front sight, and there's a straight line, perfectly straight line, hopefully, between your eyeball, the rear sight, and the front sight post, if you look down that rifle. Now, the bullet doesn't travel along that line. It actually travels a curve.
The north route has been destroyed.
That was easy. Well, I have enough ammo to kind of demonstrate this. So, the bullet actually...
Both groups of trucks have been destroyed.
So, mission complete, but I'm going to talk about bullet trajectories here because it's going to be valuable as you start shooting trucks and enemy aircraft as they're flying through the air. Strafing and dogfighting is pretty damn useful. So, let's fly level here. So, imagine this. Okay, so the flight path of a bullet actually is it exits the muzzle of the rifle and travels up through the sight line, arcs up over it until gravity takes over, and then it arcs back down through it. So it actually, the flight path of the bullet actually intersects the sight line twice. Because if the barrel was perfectly perpendicular to the ground when you fired it, it would just drop straight and your sight would actually aim quite high. So at different ranges, especially with a rifle, your sight line isn't pointing necessarily directly at the thing that the bullet is going to hit. You have to adjust for that kind of elevation as you aim. So this gun sight, for example, that cross shows where the weapons will converge at a certain range, which I do not know. As the bullets travel out farther, you see that little V shape with a dot in the middle. That's what will converge farther out, and then farther out below that, you see these horizontal lines here, that's where the bullets will intersect and strike a ground target at a certain range. Again, I don't know those numbers, but what I do, let's say I want to attack, let's say this square building here. You can, one way to do it, which is easy, is get real close and use the cross. But that's dangerous if there are air defenses around, so you're going to want to kind of get a feel for how far away your targets are and how big a vehicle looks in the gun sight at different ranges. And you can only really do that through practice. So let's say that brown spot on the ground, I'm going to try to attack it farther out. See, I overshot it. Let's get a nice more open, some more range here. So the bullets go out, and then they arc back down. See how that works? Boom, straight out, and then they drop down below. Another thing to keep in mind when strafing ground targets is this thing called the flashlight effect. I was doing my strafing runs were pretty parallel to the ground itself. Now that's not really ideal because of another thing to keep in mind is that the bullets, especially from machine guns, they disperse as you fire. They're not laser beams. So every bullet is going to follow its own trajectory, and they kind of spread out a little bit as they travel through the air. Especially when you're pulling G's and rolling the airplane around. Bullets themselves have gyroscopic effects. There's books written about ballistics and why bullets do what they do. I've read a few. I'm not going to go into too much of it right now, but imagine you've got imagine as you shoot a machine gun, and the bullets are just going. Brrr, they're all spraying out. They're going to describe. If you shot a piece of paper, that was perpendicular to you as you're standing still, they would kind of more or less kind of draw a circle, kind of like a shotgun pattern, like somebody threw, pellets at it, and it makes a circle pattern. Now, if you can do that with a flashlight. If you shine a flashlight at the wall, you see a circle, and if you tilt it down at the ground, it stretches out into an oval. The same thing happens with your bullets. So what that means is if you're trying to shoot something specific, and your bullets are striking in an oval pattern, it means fewer bullets are striking in the middle of your gun sight where you want them to all to strike to maximize your kill. Hog pilots in DCS already know about this because of the Avenger cannon. So the way to minimize the flashlight effect is to dive as straight down as possible and kind of keep your bullets all in a specific area. Nothing's perfect. It's not a rifle. It's not a sniper rifle. It's kind of a spray. There's an area of effect in guns like this. Now, if I flew real low to notice when I strafed that tree, all the bullets kind of hit within the same kind of area. But if I was low to the ground and kind of level, as I shoot, the bullets kind of describe a kind of you can't see the marks anymore, but kind of a rectangular line. Another thing you can do as you're strafing, if you let off the stick, your sight picture kind of inches upwards a lot of times, so you can counteract that by bunting the stick, pushing the nose down. Just be sure you don't hit the ground when you do that. Alright, that's enough of my lecture for now. There's better demonstrations of that. I'll see if I can find some and put them in the comments so you can kind of get more visualization of what bullets do as they travel through the air, and machine gun bullets, and how they disperse, what kind of patterns they make and stuff. And we can also talk about weapon convergence later. We'll get to that in probably an air-to-air mission. I will, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, and we'll be blowing up more stuff.